Okay, y'all, I have to tell you, I'm extremely excited about the way this turkey is turning out. And I think it's going to revolutionize Thanksgiving dinner for a lot of you. I can't believe how beautifully this turkey is cooking. I'm going to show you. I hate to even do it, but people, do you see how golden brown that turkey is? Alright, here is the deal. I've done a whole bunch of videos, but I'm going to try to give a quick synopsis that doesn't have to take forever. I'll take you over here. Here's what I did. I got my turkey, and it's a big turkey. It's a full-on, full-sized, invite your whole family and all your friends size turkey. It's about 23 pounds. I cleaned it by rinsing in cold water, took out the neck and the giblets, inside and out, had it dry, and I brined it. I made a brine with 2 gallons of water, a cup and a half of kosher salt, a little over a cup of brown sugar, cinnamon stick, allspice berries, bay leaves, candied ginger. I think that's it. Brought it to a boil, cooled it, refrigerated it until it was totally cool, and then I poured it over the turkey. And I had a giant brining bag. You can, which is just a heavy-duty Ziploc bag that will not leak, and I placed that on a rimmed cookie sheet right in my fridge. If you have a giant bucket, if it's winter and you can do something and actually store it in your garage because it stays cold, whatever, you can do that. But it's still summer here, so I had to keep it in the fridge. If you've got a big giant kettle that you can fit it in, go for it. This was a big turkey, and it wasn't just that it was heavy. I mean, it's like bigger than my torso, so it's kind of hard to fit it anywhere. I brined it for about 18 hours total, which is longer than you need to, but I started it, the evening before, and halfway through, I flipped it over. I started breast side down, and then I flipped it over. And then, when I was ready to cook the turkey, all I had to do was pour off the brine, rinse it off, pat it dry, and roast it. Here is the deal with this style of roasting. Instead of basting it, you've brined it, so the meat is now got salted, flavored water in it instead of its original water. And because the salt changes the protein structure of the actual meat fibers, it traps some more moisture. So when you cook it, it's going to steam in there and it's going to stay juicy instead of evaporating out in between the salt. So that's one reason you want to brine. The other reason is when it cooks and it releases its water, the salt and the protein and the solids stay behind in the protein, so it's flavored. 2 for 1 with that. You don't need to baste this turkey because instead of cooking it long and slow at 325, for this size turkey that would take me almost 6 hours. My whole turkey is going to be done in under 3 hours. So instead of doing that, I'm kind of searing it in a super hot oven at 500 degrees, crisping the skin up for 30 minutes, and it got brown and delightful. Bringing the fat right up to the surface, crisp up that skin, and then I covered the turkey with foil, put it back in, lowered the temperature to 350, and cook it until the internal temperature of the breast meat reaches 161. Then I'm going to take it out. So, I don't know where I'm at. I'm not quite at 3 hours, and we're quickly approaching the time to take it out. And I can tell you it's totally golden brown. Instead of, I'm not stuffing my turkey with stuffing, because we all know by now that that's, a bacteria-laden nightmare. And you also have to cook your turkey even longer. So, I filled it with aromatics. I filled it with parsley, with sage. I've got lemon and orange and onion and celery and rosemary and ginger in there. Just filled it, crammed it full, and that's what's inside, releasing it into the turkey while it cooks. And after I take it out, I'm going to cover it totally with foil and let it rest. I'm going to actually let it rest 25 to 30 minutes. You don't want to do anything to that turkey. You don't want to cut into the turkey. You don't want to remove, if it's got one of those probes inside the turkey, leave it in there. I'm using, instead of an instant read thermometer, I've got one that's in the whole time that I'm baking it, and it'll let me know when I reach the temperature, and I'm going to leave that probe in there, because every time you take anything out, that's a hole for the juices to run out. And you want to wait as long as you can, at least 20 minutes before you cut into it, because obviously when the turkey is really hot, the liquid in the turkey is boiling and moving all about, and if you slice it, it's just going to pour right out of your meat, and you're going to be left with a disappointingly dry turkey. Leave it in there till it cools back down and redistributes. Then when you cook it, you shouldn't lose very much moisture at all. So that is where we're at, and I'm telling you I'm so excited because, number one, nothing could have been simpler. No basting, which obviously makes sense. Instead of opening and closing the oven 100 times, basting your turkey the second half that it cooks, every time you do that, you're losing heat out of your oven, and of course it takes longer. But because we cooked it at such a high temperature, we got it brown already. We're not waiting for that to happen, and it kind of seared it, and it reduced the cooking temperature. So that, on that point of view, it totally makes sense. Also, I'm telling you, it is beautiful. So I'm very excited. And how fast? Outside of the brining, which wasn't complicated, this turkey is going to hit the table in like half the time. You don't have to get up at 5 in the morning and do this. So that's that. When I take it out to cool, that's when I'm going to start my potatoes and roast my vegetables, and everything will be able to be done right about the time that I'm ready to carve. See you then.